Hey, what's going on out there, Spotlight Faithful? It's your main man, Tommy, on the spot. Today is Wednesday, June the 28th. Unbelievable. We are just 3 days away from ending half of 2017. It's unreal. It's absolutely unreal how fast time is going. I think someone's flipping me off behind, probably because they're looking for a parking space, and here I am chatting with each and every one of you, but it's okay. Do not worry about it. Seems like people are clearing out all around me here, and everything will be just peachy keen. Wanted to jump on here before we get to anything else regarding the rest of the week. I wanted to talk to you guys about this little site here. There's going to be a lot more content on here on this little YouTube moving forward. However, there's not going to be much more non-wrestling related content. Got a pretty cool announcement coming towards the end of the week about the state of this YouTube channel, about a second YouTube channel that we're going to be launching, and a few more things you can expect right here on this YouTube channel, which will be dedicated primarily to wrestling and become kind of the wrestling vlog portion of thedailyspotlight.com, and we'll move forward from that with what we're going to be doing with all the other travel videos and everything else moving forward. But for right now, let's dive into the wrestling drive. I wanted to come on with you guys and pop on about WWE Smackdown, which was last night. Really strong show again by Smackdown, and I'll be honest, one of the things that I'm thoroughly enjoying right now for Smackdown is it's episodic television. It really is. Every week they get you set for a really big, another big show every single week. Next week we got the Independence Battle Royal. Next week we got the battle rap between the Usos and the New Day. Every single week they're setting you up with 2 or 3 things to dive into, to really sink your teeth into. And I think they're doing a pretty good job about that. So, wanted to just talk to you guys a little bit about my thoughts of yesterday's show. I thought the women's Money in the Bank was really, really well done. Listen, at the end of the day, Carmella's right now on fire. And if they were to take that away from her, I don't think the Money in the Bank works as well on a babyface. I don't think that it really suits the characteristics of either Becky Lynch or Charlotte to utilize that, especially with Charlotte being so new into that kind of face turn, that I guess hero type turn, if you will. And so I like the idea of keeping it on Carmella, and for her to get the last laugh, so to speak. You take away the briefcase last week because she was conniving. Now she connives her way, but does it in a sort of way where she's following the rules of the match and still comes out on top, and now has a bit of momentum. And I expect that at some point she's going to be cashing in that briefcase. I don't expect it to be very soon, but I think she's going to cash in that briefcase, and I think she is going to win the title. And one of the things that's really cool about this week in WWE entirely, and I told you guys it was going to be a big week on Monday, is every single WWE programming this week, with the exception of 205 Live, Raw, SmackDown Live, NXT tonight, has had a women's main event match. You had the Gauntlet on Monday, you had the Money in the Bank match last night, and then tonight on NXT, you're going to be having Asuka versus Nikki Cross in the last woman standing match. I've heard some stuff from the tapings that I heard it was completely over the top. It was completely crazy. Asuka is in the midst of a history-making run, so it'll be interesting to see if she can keep that going tonight. She's done a really, really good job with that title and has really been a stabilizing force for a women's division that has gone through a major bit of transformation post-draft for WWE. And it's just a cool time if you're a fan of women's wrestling, like I am, and certainly women in general, women wrestling fans in general. My fiance is a huge fan, and she's super stoked that the women are being presented in main event capacities. Really, really cool stuff, and it's good to see the women positioned this way, and I hope that it continues. And who knows, maybe we'll get that women's WrestleMania main event at some point down the line. The other big news coming out of SmackDown last night, the Punjabi prison will be making its big return at Battleground. This was one of the more wacky gimmick matches of the past. I barely even remember it. I know they had 2. I believe the last one was Batista versus the Great Khali some 10 years ago. So it's going to be interesting to see how they utilize that. It's a little bit convoluted in that you have to get out of the first cage and then get out of the second cage. But I think a big portion of it, honestly, has to do with the fact that I bet Mattel will be releasing the Punjabi prison play sets, and I know they even sold a good amount of the shark cage play sets that they did, which was one of the main reasons why Chris Jericho was in the shark cage at the Royal Rumble. So it's going to be interesting. Obviously, this will be the culmination of the Randy Orton feud, going in with Jinder Mahal. And I'm assuming that'll bleed right into the return of John Cena, who's returning next week on the 4th of July, old Captain USA himself, and it'll be good to have John Cena back. Interesting to see kind of different ways they may go with that. I'm going to hold off on that portion of the vlog until next week, but you can kind of keep your eye on a couple different things they can do with John Cena moving forward. Does he slot himself right into a match with Jinder Mahal? Does he slot himself into the battle rap, which he would fit right into? Or does he make his return and slot himself right into the Independence Day Battle Royal, where he was, and go after the U.S. title, and go try to regain that crown, where he had the memorable run from a couple years ago doing the U.S. Open Challenge. So who knows? We're gonna just have to wait and see. But one last thing I did want to mention, if you guys did not watch last night's Talking Smack, go on and watch it. I watch it on my way into work every Wednesday morning. It's kind of my little tradition. I catch up on some post-Smackdown audio to hear some of people's opinions on the show, to kind of catch up on 205 Live a bit, and then I move right into Talking Smack. Talking Smack with Daniel Bryan back on the show. As Kevin Owens even said yesterday, it's great to have Kevin Owens back. I mean, it's great to have Daniel Bryan back as hosting that show. He does a great job yesterday with Kevin Owens, the Usos, Carmella. This was an awesome 30 minutes. Put me in a great mood. Even now, I could barely contain my smile in thinking back and remembering that show. So go back, watch Talking Smack, and WWE continues to do it. Bring it on Tuesday nights. They got a little something for everyone. You want your Smackdown, your 205 Live, then your Talking Smack. You got a whole night's worth of stuff right there. I know people like to complain and say, it's too much, too much, too much. Smackdown flies right by. 205 Live, I know the crowd isn't the most into it at times, but the action is phenomenal, and there continuing to be some really underrated matches on that show. Neville's doing a great job kind of being the anchor for that brand, and obviously Talking Smack, you know I love that show, and last night was no exception. So make sure you guys go and check that out, and that's going to do it for me today, but take it easy, and please, please, please hit the subscribe button, and tune in towards the end of the week. We got some big news coming about this year's site and about another YouTube channel that we're launching that I expect big things from moving forward. A lot of fun times, a lot of craziness, a lot of busyness. But until then, you be well.